All right, guys, this is one detail that will completely fix your back attacks and get you finishes without even having to get both hooks in. We're here in top turtle. A lot of times when guys chase top turtle, they like to attack turtle with seatbelt. Now, I'm not a huge fan of attacking turtle with seatbelt because, especially if I don't have hooks in, he's gonna start getting his hips really high, and that's gonna result in me kind of slipping off the top. So I try to avoid seatbelt until I at least get one hook in. So I'm gonna go body lock with an S grip. And now the benefit of having a body lock with an S grip is my forearms will eventually slide and hit his armpits and kind of act as stoppers and keep me from falling off the top. So the most I can really slide off the top is right about there. And then now I'm not gonna really slide off more, and I can always adjust by pulling myself back. So I like the body lock personally. We're gonna use these kind of levers here. I like to pull my elbow into his hip and then open my other elbow into his armpit to create space between his knee and his elbow to start getting my knee in here. The entire time I'm trying to glue my chest to his shoulders and start bringing his heels off his butt so that I can scoop his back foot. So we're here and I'm scooping his back foot. Now the main thing that I see guys do wrong from here when they're trying to take the back is they scoop low at the ankle and they try to pull the guy's knee open. Now the problem with this is maybe I even get seatbelt, right? And I pull him to his side. He's gonna bring his knee to his chest now and limp leg, and he frees his hook, and then now we build back up, and then now I'm falling off the top with my seatbelt. So instead, when we get our knee to the inside, I want you to take your heel and glue it to your own kneecap. So once I have a connection there, even if I went seatbelt and pulled him over, now I have a connection to where his knee's not gonna just slip out. Versus if I'm low at his ankle here, he can slide his knee out by bringing his foot free. So when you go to take the back, you get that knee in and your body lock, glue your ankle to your own knee. And we're kind of riding him here. Now I'm gonna start to take out his post before I go seatbelt. I'm gonna get my hand to the inside and feet to cross wrist. Now I can start going over the top to chase this kind of like tilt here. So I start knocking him over, and then now I'm gonna take my bottom hook out and put it on the inside of his legs, and I can try to shrimp back to get behind him. The main thing I wanna look for now is taking this leg over the top of his hip and crossing my ankles. I don't wanna cross my ankles behind his hip because I don't really have too much control on this side of his body, and he can spin out and kind of get bottom position but escape the back take entirely. So I wanna trap his top hip down, so now it's harder for him to rotate. He would actually have to push my knee down to clear his hip, and then now he could spin. So I'm gonna be here, locking down his top hip, and then now I'm gonna switch from, instead of holding his wrist, I'm gonna cup his shoulder. This is a detail I've been working a lot on lately. If you hold their hand, he can kind of limp arm and pull his shoulder away from my chest and kind of still get space from here. But if I'm holding his shoulder, I can glue his shoulder to my chest. I have his hip locked down, and then now he's not gonna really be able to turn either way because he can't turn into me since I have bottom hook. He can't turn away because I have shoulder and hip connection. Now we're gonna start to set up our rear naked choke, but if I go under his chin here, and I now have to lock my hands. So if I release the shoulder and I go to lock my hands here, he can just push my knee down and then he can rotate away. And then now I'm starting to lose it. Even if I have my choke fully locked in, he can sometimes out-rotate me and I can lose it. So what we're gonna do instead, I have the shoulder and I have the topside hip lock. I'm gonna open my elbow and put my thumb, kind of the base of my thumb, right underneath his nose, across his jaw. And I'm gonna now punch my hand across to his shoulder. And I try to get as deep as I can behind his rear delt. Now that he's facing me, he can't physically really rotate that way or he would, hurt his neck or whatever. So this is gonna kind of keep him from being able to turn to that direction. So I can now remove this and he can't turn that way. And then now I can lock up my face crush. So how we're gonna lock up face crush, my hands deep, I bring my elbow as high as I can to the ceiling, and then I take my hands and I put my outside hand on top of my choking arm. And then now I start to sneak my hand behind the back of his neck, and I put my chin on top of my own wrist, because sometimes our hand's a little high on the back of their head and they can peel it off if he reaches back and pulls my hand down. So I like to keep my hand facing me and use my chin to push my hand down below the back of his neck. And then now we're gonna finish this. It's gonna feel a lot like a twister, but it does choke them too. I'm taking my elbows and pulling them back to my topside hip as I bridge through him. So I'm pulling his neck this way, bridging my hips through his spine. It's really painful and he can't rotate either direction. He can't turn to face me because I have his bottom hip locked down, and he can't turn away from me because I have his face looking to this direction. And then we can go ahead and bridge and finish that.